Welcome to an Ashley a Day. Hooray! Hey everybody, welcome to an Ashley a Day, Day 101. Today, as I promised yesterday, I am going to be doing an Ashley Doodles, and today I will be telling you the story of the Worm Hospital. It is starring Courtney and myself. Hope you enjoy. Back at our old house, in our backyard, we had this one section that when it would get really stormy and rainy and rain really hard for a while, it would flood. And every time it flooded, the worms would come out of the ground and they would just inhabit this one pond. Worms are usually that pinkish, brown, gray color, but after they've been in the water so long, they actually turn white. So in this created rain pond, there's just tons of white worms. Cortney and I never failed to go out anytime it was flooded to go and rescue the worms. And for the sake of not being naked in this doodle, I am going to give us yellow raincoats. Unfortunately, we didn't have any, but they are too cute to pass up. Cortney and I would always go out and we would collect all the worms. We just collect them one at a time and we'd bring them armfuls at a time back to where we set up our worm hospital. So in our backyard, in front of a fence, there were pebbles surrounded by a wooden frame. And in these pebbles stood our treehouse. Our treehouse that our dad built with some of our uncles and other people. Basically, this is where we set up our worm hospital. We would take our worms and as we gathered them, we would set them on the wood frame and that would become the hospital area. That is where we took care of the worms. Not only did we give them a place to lay, we also covered them with leaves as blankets in order to make the worms feel special and have a comfortable stay in our hospital. At one point, we noticed that there was one worm that was a little bit fatter than the rest of the worms. So we took a closer look and realized that the worm was pregnant. You know, this sickly worm that we rescued from the flooded area of our backyard was pregnant. This was my first experience with birth. Instead of having the pregnant worm have a leaf as a blanket, we decided to give her a leaf as a bed. Warning, those squeamish of doodle worm birth should look away now. At first we saw a little itty-bitty head poking out, and then inch by inch, or really centimeter by centimeter, a worm started to emerge from the mother worm. It was actually really interesting to watch this worm being birthed. I mean, who sees worms being birthed when you're that young? It's really cool. Thankfully, both the mother worm and the baby worm survived the whole procedure. We continued to rescue worms for another couple of hours, and one by one, the worms slowly regained their beautiful brownish color and got their health back. It was a glorious day. In the end, Cortney and I rescued tons of worms from the doom of drowning in a rain-filled puddle. We were the heroes of the day. Nurse Cortney and Nurse Ashley. Hope you enjoyed. I'll see you tomorrow. Goodbye!